the Yemisi Shylon Museum of Art has announced the Invincible Hands exhibition opening from August 28, 2021. The upcoming exhibition highlights the notable contributions of Nigerian female artists from the country's formative years through its more contemporary eras of art practice. Our next guest is Olufisayo Bakare. She's a designer come curator who has a keen interest in carving the phenomenal art out of the familiar and is joining forces with the institutions like Yemisi Shylon Museum of Art to construct site-specific installations within the creative sector and art world. So welcome, Yemisi. Good to have you with us.
Thank you.
Good to have you, Olufisayo.
It's okay.
From the Yemisi Shylon
That's correct,
Foundation.
Yes.
Good to have you.
Thank you.
Could you tell us a little bit about this exhibition and exactly what brought it about?
Most definitely. It's a showcasing of 40 female Nigerian artists, and we wanted to celebrate the chasm that lies between their male contemporaries and the female producers of art. And what we wanted to do was to bridge that gap as much as possible to show that it's possible to harness the skill set of 40 different women in their established careers as artists, their mid-level careers, and their emerging artists as well. So that's what we wanted to do, to show a spectrum of artists across the length and breadth of Nigeria and the diaspora from a female lens.
Okay, some might say, it's a surprise to find that even in the area of art, there is a chasm.
Oh, yeah.
Female, because you think that this was an area of just free expression and response. We have Chief Nike Okundaye, as you know, and she seems to be making ground there. So what do you hope this exhibition will achieve beyond exposing people to the chasm?
Right. I want this exhibition to educate as well as enlighten. None of the works are for sale for a reason. So it's open to the general public, and we want you to actually engage with the reasons why these pieces are even shown in the first place. So the exhibition takes on a historic view to begin with, to kind of welcome you in through the Nigerian art history. If there were anything that were offered in schools, this would be a visual of it. And it takes you into the more contemporary production of art, but it starts from the traditional indigenous way that we produce art. So you start to see things like Adire and Ashoke right from the onset, but then it modernizes, and then you start seeing some Ankaras as well. But what we're doing is shaking hands with the past and kind of presenting the future of possibilities. And you had said something about the chasm and the disparity between male producers and female producers. Art generally kind of streamlines, and it's only open to like the upper echelon of society. And what we also want to do is to kind of decompress or to deconstruct that and make it open to everyone, specifically because we want them to be empowered through education.
Interesting.
Wow, that's really nice. So having been an integral part of the pre-colonial societies of Nigeria program to being an active member of the ongoing Museums of the Future, what has this experience been like for you?
It's been quite dynamic. So as I said earlier, we were talking about history, and with the pre-colonial society, what we're doing is going back into time to show the way art objects and art forms were created before colonialism. And so we're looking at 4 major societies: the Ile-Ife society, the Benin society, the Nok society, and the Iboku societies. So the 4 major strands of development and their uniqueness to producing art for royal houses and objects of use in the domestic setting. We wanted to kind of show students, so this is only kind of open to students right now, secondary school students, to show them what art forms had been created from our indigenous way of life. And then with the Museums of the Future program is with Gothe Institute. What we want to do is to formulate institutions that continue to push education on art history at the forefront of its mind. So to be empowered in order to empower other institutions coming up after Yemisi Shylon Museum of Art.
Okay, let's talk about, you spoke earlier how art is exclusive to a certain echelon of society and you want to deconstruct and make it accessible. Let's talk about those platforms. I'm looking at your Instagram page and I see a photo of the Olu of Wari's coronation, and so many people felt that drew them in, and they found a point of connection, a point of pride in that. And then I also want to tag on to that. How did you select the people you're going to portray in this exhibition?
Okay, two questions. Olufisayo spoke about women, and he spoke about wanting to focus on women and to bring them up in society. So you see that in the caption. And that was what he said: no longer will women be invisible, which means no longer would they be marginalized by society. And I kind of used that to bring back the invincibility of female artists. So invincible is the strength. Invisible. Exactly. So it was kind of like a way to further educate the audience as to why it was one over the other. And your second question, sorry, I answered.
Did you select?
Okay, so the curatorial process was insular. We didn't have a call for entries. What we wanted to do was to go through a research. Copious hours were spent on research to try to find certain names that were missing from the conversation to begin with. One of such names is my grandmother, who was an Adire dyer. Oh, wow. But before she came to the forefront in a crafts program, Ladi Kwali had gone before her. And I don't know if you know, but Ladi Kwali is on our 20 Naira bill. So a woman that had attained such status, had, broken through barriers, which is Ladi Kwali I'm speaking about, was also, my grandmother was also a part of the same exchange program. So it was a cultural exchange way back before independence, I believe. Wow. Yeah. So no, actually, I completely lie. It was 75. Yeah. Okay. So it was 15 years after. Yeah, post-independence. And so these cultural programs were happening, and I wanted to go through a personal historic dialogue first, to kind of see who else was creating art in that era and who had championed the causes. And so the flyer for the main flyer for the exhibition is all women that had contributed a meaningful quota, whether or not they were reputable or they had been forgotten. We wanted to kind of highlight that and then bring us back into the more contemporary scene. So it was very organic in a way, and then we wanted to look at, with the emerging artists that had also put quite a bit of skill into their work, but were not so much seen. So one of the artists has never shown her work outside of school, and she's never shown on Nigerian soil. For her. Exactly.
So please remind us before we let you go, it's starting tomorrow?
Yes, at 11 a.m. And we hope to wrap up and close out by 4 p.m. And so if anyone's planning to come, they need to leave at 9 a.m.
Is Tiwa Savage going to be there?
No, Tiwa Sego.
Oh, okay.
So that's one of the artists that is showcasing. I wish.
Any relation to Diola Sego?
Yes, she's the third daughter of Diola Sego, the fashion designer. And so she's the one I was referring to as to not have shown her work anywhere outside of school. Yeah, this is her debut. Yes,
that's great. Thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All the best with tomorrow. I wish I could have been there.
Oh, I'm sure you'll have quite a bit of FOMO.
Catch it on Instagram.
Yes, most definitely. You should be able to see the highlights on Instagram.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.